great spot to go to. Of course, if you'd like to donate to Right Side Broadcasting Network, you can do so by texting RSBN to 801-801 or go to rsbnetwork.com/donate. You see it right there. Text RSBN to 801-801. That's the place to donate to the network. As of course, we have great sponsors here. We love telling you about our sponsors and also the donors of the network for a number of years now. Since 2015, if you remember all those rallies, we don't forget them, and all the people that we spoke to prior to the rallies in cities across this country, people just like yourself that have been, some of you have been there, whether it's Grand Rapids, Michigan, Rapid City, South Dakota, Miami, Florida, Phoenix, Arizona. I remember one in Reno, Nevada. They're all over the place. How about the Bronx, New York? All of those huge events. And we were chanting USA, USA, right? All those great times. Well, we the people, we are alive and well, and the majority of this nation simply wants the freedom to worship God, have families, right? Loves our country, loves freedom, and truth, justice, and the American way. All right, as we await President Trump, let's now go to Noel Frisch with the National File. He joins us now. Noel, thanks so much for joining us on Right Side Broadcasting Network.
Happy to be here.
Let's talk about a number of things. I mean, there's a lot that you guys work on at the National File, and of course, I follow you guys on X as well. What are some stories top of mind outside of maybe the breaking news of today with the J6 suspected bomber?
Yeah, well, a lot of this stuff just all connects, as I know you know, Matt. So coming out of a lot of this Pentagon, I'm just going to say fluff that we've had. Something else that's going on, kind of sub rasa, is there is kind of like a deep state effort to try to, at the very minimum, pitch Secretary Hegseth, if not totally remove him. And that's how these guys work. What they want to do is they want to damage you so that you basically have to, the deep state that is, so that you basically have to either play ball with them and do what they give you entirely. And so they're always playing for a couple of options. And so, we've got big issues still stemming from, of course, this Afghanistan withdrawal and the subsequent invasion engineered by the Republican leaders in the House and the Senate to bring all of the Afghani terrorists here. It was interesting, Matt. I was doing a Google search earlier there, and I found a poll from 2013, I believe that it is. And they were asking various questions, and they broke it down by country, differences between some of these countries, kind of, okay, is what I would say. In general, however, all of Islam wants to basically do harm to the United States. The definition of Islam, if you go read their foundational documents, is peace equals everyone under the subjugation of Islam. It's really important that everybody starts getting that in this new context that we're in, because there are of orders, as we now see. And so, 99% of Afghanis believe that the Sharia should be imposed on the planet. I wonder if they brought that up. I know there was a couple of people who pushed back a little bit. J.D. Vance was one of those, I believe, who pushed back on the resettlement of all of these refugees. Our President Trump pushed back. It didn't make sense, a lot of it. Of course, the standard voices pushing for all of these refugees. Beck is one of those. But we had Lindsey Graham, Senator Blumenthal, and like a bipartisan cadre of some of the worst people on the planet who happen to be in Pacific, looking to bring all these people. Give them take note that literally all Afghanis, according to Pew, can put Sharia law on the planet. And Lindsey on the Senate saying, "Well, we need good people to bring in here, and we owe them." I'm sorry, owe them. Just because the Bushes decided to go take over the poppy fields for in Afghanistan, and then literally handed amazing tweets out on Twitter that goes through the sheer number of vehicles that we gave these people. I mean, it's like tens and tens of, if not hundreds of thousands of armored vehicles and Humvees and all kinds of 500,000 guns and firearms and stuff. It's almost as if literally Biden on them and Graham brought them in so that they could talk this kind of thing that we're seeing here now, which is it's ratcheting up into low grade war. This jihad that Islam is running on the West. We're seeing it all over the place. Texas, Minnesota, Florida, DC, it's South Carolina, it's everywhere. Obviously, California, San Bernardino stuff. And it's all happening. We have essentially like a takeover, DOD, an attempted takeover by the Secretary of the Army, Driscoll. And I guess they were that the DoD isn't friendly enough to Islam. There are a lot at stake here to be able to sell a lot of weapons to a lot of countries, and that's who runs the DoD. If the DoD were to say become actually defensive rather than a lot of money for all these contractors, that they would lose out if we focused on the United States here and we had a truly America first approach toward running the country. There are a lot of people are really dead set making billions and billions of dollars selling all kinds of jets and not in arms to Saudi Arabia, on and on and on. And so, what's wrong, Matt? I don't So we have to stop to all that nonsense. We've got to get home, and the unfortunate situation that we're going to see. It's not just going to be the Islamic blowback here. We're seeing of Washington our National Guards being electoral in 2026. American people do not have an appetite for terrorism. They do not have an appetite for all of this around the globe. Certainly have an appetite for playing footsie and being nice with the Islamic world that seeks to exercise all over the globe in the environment. If I'm trying to let us, we never forget what happened. I think we got.
So when people are listening right now, and down there, you're looking at truth, facts, evidence, receipts, and then you break situations like this, there's op-ed editorial. So everything has a lens they watch, right? So they're listening to you, and you're saying a number of things, number of topics, and about the Department of War and Islam and all that. And I could put my hat and say, well, I agree, or I disagree. No. You keep talking because you have freedom of speech to do so, but also give the context that are saying, is this official national file? Has he been conservative? Yes. Can you talk to us about some of the stories that you've broke over the past 5 years that are made headlines that because you were right about something?
Sure. Well, and the answer is TV is maybe out too, especially in this crazy industry that we're in. A lot of I have 6 kids. So I'm busy at home wrestling, fucking leaves, all that. And we broke the Biden diary. That was a story on the whole Biden lap, and that was how that for us. But we were going to do a documentary about that leading in June. I was on the Bannon show. Actually, next to London, one of Hunter's baby mamas. I can't remember. Anyway, she was on the Bannon show last June of 2024, and we were teasing that documentary. Because Biden decided I don't want all the credit for that. But I'd like to back out how he got rid of Biden. So we beat there. So we got Trump's second term. So we have a story. I think he's big in politics. Some of the views familiar with the Black Klan of Virginia, Ralph Northam, and then he figured out the internet things. Was he has like the blue or gold? Nobody knows. If anyone remembers that meme from and then actually 2 days after, I also broke the Justin Fairfax was Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, and he multiple credible brief by Black Democrat PhD women who are like Stanford professors and stuff. And Fairfax's career really ended there. It was a fun 72 hours. So Tom Tillis, the steam client, lost the Senate in 2020, along with losing the House and the White House. We broke story. I got some text messages. Cunningham had a back over 20. Say his $100 million Democratic campaign fell off. The wheels fell off because he was shipping listed the live jobs under his band flag. The JAG attorney literally got fired for doing that sort of thing, doing it. And so he did not end up being Senator Tom Tillis, so not a huge fan of actually, we got credit from Trump on that. Trump was a good man. He gave us credit for saving there in the 2020 election. And so we have our weight and high value targets and high value operations to really try to make a difference. There's a lot of news designed these every day off designed not move the needle. And so our goal is to push the noise and the needle for the guys. And so and we're now we feel some of the coming of Susie Wiles. I took the chief of staff to the president in just like a couple of days, and lobbyists thinking to DC, it's helping the sort of the thing of the rails here. A lot of people are like, what's going on? There's multiple Islamic types who are in the Oval Office all of a sudden. That problem. These are facts. These are not opinions. House. It used to be the way you practice. I consider Mamdani or the mayor of New York to be for the relation meeting, right? So relations, you don't elevate somebody who is, to be essentially manhandled, who's, basically. That's not how foreign relations. But Mamdani's in the White House getting interview with our commander in chief. There's some things that are going wrong here that are going to be very 2026 because everybody's just like, what? And
so let me say a few things here. So
sure.
One, talk about the fact that what is the strategy going forward to save the United States of America? 1, 2, what do you do every day? And 3, your thoughts about the late Charlie Kirk.
I'll start with Charlie. Charlie was a good man, and so he. I have a pretty good relationship with Charlie and his team, and still do with the team, and I hope that they can continue that mission as effectively as Charlie did. Charlie, in his interview, the question, what is an American? And on Mamdani, he said, I don't have a United States passport. That doesn't mean you're an American. You have to be American first, period, if you look to America. And there's a lot of theories about, what happened to Charlie or whatever. I can say, like, there are very tough forces who do not want to like that because there's a very, it's a really active market for every industry on the globe. They want to do business. Why is the value of doing there's the standard of living is the highest, and it's the most money. I mean, everybody just wants to do business in America. Still, that's a fact. And they go over that's what industry wants to do. And most of the Americans, I don't think so. It's so fast. So if we have a population growing naturally with American prosperity, but you go from 350 to a billion, what you can't you're not just going to sit around and eat for three the people extent to sort of procreate. You're going to be waiting 100 years or more, right? You have to do it now. So what do? You get the people who are there, and you have like third worlders, the global people from like these same countries, and I'll say all the their lifestyle are not consistent with our way of life here, and we don't need to have 500 or 600 million workers come from the global south to populate America. We don't need that. And so that's what's going on here. Charlie was hit and they used to it, and they're like, that's our guy. And so now he's not with us. But those kids don't die. And so I think it's very what I'm saying is true. That's how you get Mamdani in the White House. By the way, everybody's moving out of right now. That's convenient. They're all moving down to the South. Half of them are going to move to South Carolina. A bunch are going to move to Georgia and Alabama and Mississippi and Florida and Tennessee. And there's going to be all kinds of states in New York City to move in a bunch of folks who kind of used to live in Land. And so that's what's going on. How to fix it? Well, Congress has totally abdicated their role. They're exercising no oversight. So Congress has to be forced to stand to this freight train and say no. And sadly, we're not seeing a push for the right people and things from top. In fact, we're seeing the opposite. And so, it's not going to go well in 6 if we see over action from the administration like yesterday.
Can you share with us what kind of things have you done? You're connected in D.C. and also tell us why you do every day.
Sure. I used to be a school teacher, actually. So I'm a school teacher. And then for a decade, I narrowly dodged law school things. And then after I decided to kind of get into this politics and campaigns, worked on the Hill for a while. And I stopped slow and since then I'm on the outside because we actually get more done creating pressure from the outside than we do inside or not. And so anytime speaker fight, I'm right in the middle of that. That's been my major over the last decade and a half or so is really, look, I hope the real we can fix it, but we have to exercise the power that we have. And there has to be will to power by good men and who are in power. You have to take care of and so we've been really close with that with the gavel a few times. But we've had them actors kind of come in and control the opposition. Still don't have a mic. I can't do anything about this player, but is now calling out Johnson for his being on all issues, and so that's true. If you got at least Stefanik bad mouthing you, you got problems. Okay, and you got me agreeing with her. You got problems, Mike Johnson. So a new speaker. Bottom line, and I'll say this: Jim Jordan he kind of gave up a bunch of big guys, bought off, and then they are we're putting the rules. Look, what did you get? Nothing. The Freedom Caucus has been since they hit in 2015, an operation I was very intimately involved in from the outside, these adults. And who are mules. They're state mules who refuse to do what they're supposed to do. They refuse to do it. I'm speaking of the representatives. And so, yeah, I've been in from the outside, trying to be as efficient as possible, trying to pick get a sledgehammer, lay on it metaphorically, swing it right at Mitch McConnell's head, Paul Ryan's head. Metaphorically, of course. There's no shovels swinging around here, people. And that's what's done. We give example to Paul Ryan, and I'm telling you right now, what was getting ready to happen. We had the House, Paul Ryan and Obama during the lame duck when Obama's on his way out. We're getting ready to pass the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We're going to pass EP, which is like NAFTA, and the national security of the States, right? And more power over Asia. And the challenge, just a guy. But in Johnson in England decided against Paul Ryan, and he together a couple of bucks. I think got it for this change. And we heard at that, and before he says they always do this. They go to you. Graham does this. They all do it. I got to go find. Phil did it with and Martin in the river in May. Remember, Phil killed the whole river. Well, they go to Matthew and says, I think maybe we're not going to do that to you. You have to deal with the pain on the outside. That's what it's going to be. But the next phase of this operation is. You got to actually go do what you're supposed to do. That's a defensive battle, basically.
So obviously, we're doing a lot of inside baseball from your perspective right now in DC, and we're going through these, we're around looking through. There's a time that I like to do more investigations and do more. But right now, it's that 30,000-foot view. It's that flying on an airplane, looking and saying, hey, I see Ireland over there. I see UK, they're cutting down on free speech there. And I'm looking at our country, like, I just want to make sure that our country didn't ever let that. I want to have the Constitution of the United States of America. Some questions from that perspective. What should we do from your perspective to keep that moving forward through the years and returns?
We're moving around the direction. Fortunately, we've got some states like well, hate speech codes, they kind of come in under the guise of stopping anti-Semitism. Generally, that's the way they come in. What they won't probably do is then into basically bringing speech against Islam. That is what they're going to be for. And if you look at KCAIR, the Council on American Islamic Relations, why is the Council on American Islamic Relations supporting hate speech codes in a place like South Carolina? Well, because they want to weaponize our government against us, and they're doing a great job. And the state or allowing Islam like Turkey. And so Turkey and Iran is, I mean, these are 1% anytime you hear there's differences in the different countries of Islam, yeah, there are slight differences. They have the same overall goal. And in Islam is defined as no one outside the piece is defined as in Islam. And, so they're going to continue to wage that jihad here on U.S. soil. And so, you got folks in Texas now to this invasion. And I do believe ultimately we're going to have a conversation about whether Islam is even as a religion or in which the United States of America. I do not believe it is, and I do not believe it does or should enjoy any First Amendment in the United States of America. Meaning we're going to start to voice those opinions because actually they're not opinions. If you go read the text in Islam, they actually openly say, it's not a theocratic governmental construct. Well, in the 50s, for that same reason, it's like a governmental construct that and we banned it. And you're not allowed. Somehow we've let it alone. Not like we're still allowing people to be communists. We've got to number one, you have to have some sheriffs and some attorneys general begin to prosecute for the violation of these. These are federal codes in the United States of America.
Outside the points that you're making right now, a 30,000-foot view, obviously secure elections, same day voting paper ballots. Obviously, there's receipts to backers out there, President Trump and we the people, for people to be held accountable. There's a number of things that I think will help keep that going on in our country. And then to your point, there's a lot of things to discuss there. Frisch, thanks so much for joining us from the National File. We'll follow you online.
At National File on all the socials, National File to read any of our investigative journalism, and we'll always get there. I would say the DOJ is busy helping to enforce the law.
Well, unfortunately, part of the agencies, we have a bit of the deep state still going on. Maybe a lot of the deep state, right?
That's right. Yes,
so, and just for transparency, inside baseball purposes, for those that are, again, I put the news anchor hat and ask questions, or I could go into the editorial aspect. I'm sticking to the news guy right now, but I know that it's great to have people on the airwaves that want to see the perspectives, and so we have here. Again, it's true for Slide's attorney. We know side you're on. I know side you're on too. Thanks so much for being us, sir. Have a great talk later.
Thanks, sir.
At the National File. We have Pete Bennett as well with content creator, a journalist, a conservative, right side of history. And again, a shout out to every person in this country that stands on the right side of history, that speaks out what they believe to be true and things that have to do with freedom and winning that info. There's a lot of conservative, a lot of great podcasts, a lot of great citizen journalists out there. And a lot of times the difference is fake news. Station in the country. It's we tell you the news. This is what's happening. On the conservative media side, do you see what's happening now? We're like, hey, everybody, let's go. I'm not just saying, let's write the podcasting network. This is a network. You guys are loyal to this brand. I love this brand. I love what it stands for freedom of speech. It's for live coverage. It's going back in 2015. You couldn't even see the full speech of President Trump because networks would cut the speech, cut away from speech. Even from We the People, like we have interviewed We the People over the years for an event, every review. So we stand with the right side of history. I'm not just saying only us that does what's kind of mixing you guys saying, hey, we're on your side. Hey, conservative journalists are kicking some serious, they're covering truth. On your side. Bring it together. Yes, there's competition, and that's fine, whatever. But you gotta remember, at least from my perspective, this is worth it to save the United States of America. All right? And some people are like, oh, it's dramatic, everything's going great. No, it's not. It's not. We have to see the core promises to the American people, all 20 of them fulfilled. We see a lot of them, a lot of great things. Trust me, I have been one of the top so-called cheerleaders at every rally I've covered. I'm one here on J13 when we had to go through what we saw in Pennsylvania with President Trump. I've been able to speak to President Trump quickly back on the campaign trail before. I understand he stands for we the people. He stands for all the right things. All we're asking is that we continue to win. We continue to do what the people want. And what we want, what I want, and I believe that you want. And this is based off of a few posts on Truth, X, and that kind of thing. Mainly Truth, because I've been on there for 3 straight years, just got back on X. And people are saying, yes, amen, that's what we want too. And it's simple. We want secure elections, our freedoms in this country. We want no weaponization in government. We want swamp to be cleared out, clean out. We want law and order. We want all the things. And those have been the law in the past. And remember, within the last couple months at a conference with Carolyn Levitt that there were people that the will of the American people, 2020, and named people like Comey and others. And then these guys go some judge for technology or whatever. We're sitting here, talking the same stuff. And it gets old. Noise gets old. All the talking old. No actions are being taken. That's all we're saying. Actions speak louder than words. But we know that we're constant Americans who love this land. We love this country. We love the Constitution. We love God. We love family. We love country. We love freedom. We love truth. We love common sense. We love justice. And we love the American way. Again, this ain't media. This is on the history, and we're going to keep on keeping on. And again, shout out to everybody that is doing that. Media and online, because we're not just doing this for our health. We're doing this for literally freedom of the country. We're on this phone. You see what's going on in the countries. And how Enoch Burke, a teacher in Ireland, because he didn't say the pronoun. A teacher is in jail now because he didn't go along with that, because the government there says you're supposed to say this. You're not supposed to say that. Wake up. I'll be straight up. I don't care what all everybody's saying. And again, this isn't just me and me and a number of great journalists out there, a number of great podcasters and journalists out there. All right, enough of that. Let's get back into the news flow. How shall we? 12:36 Thursday, December 4th. Let's go to .com/RSBN. Great sponsor here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. A lot of different topics to bet or trade or just check out polls. You can do that with .com. There are a million users on it. Use the QR code. RSBN. You can also download the app. It's really fun to check out various topics. I mean, whether they're movies or weather or faith or politics, it's all on there. Give it a shot. Callsheet.com/RSBN. But also pharmacy as well. You know, here at Arden, we always try to point you to ways that actually support freedom, give real choices, and exactly how we trust all families. They're not your traditional pharmacy pushing flu shots. All pharmacy is different. They give options. They encourage you to take charge of your health, stay prepared, and have medications on hand for sickness. And of course, during holidays, that's important. Travel, the cold weather, family gatherings. This is when everyone urgently gets sick. So why wait when someone is miserable and you're scrambling for lines? All pharmacy has everything your family needs: antivirals, antibiotics, hydroxychloroquine, Betazol, emergency kit, and supplements. All doctor reviewed and delivered fast to yours. So while you're out doing her holiday shopping, there's nothing wrong with that. If you have medications, so stock up and keep your healthy this season. Allfamilypharmacy.com. And you can get 10% off your order. All right, we're looking live there at the Donald J. Trump Institute. First time we're coming at building day. The president will be participating in a signing ceremony with the president of the Republic of Rwanda and the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. That's all happening. A bit later, I believe on a separate podcast, there'll be a live conference with DOJ. Didn't see that with that before, but I believe it would be breaking news happening today with the Gen 6 DC pilot that was arrested. So that conference will be a bit. And then tonight, President First Lady predicting the National Christmas Tree lighting. So at 4 o'clock Eastern for that. So for all the coverage today. Also, let's see what, you know what? Are we getting any word for the president or anybody arriving there at that event? Oh, yes, we'll go to video. The president of Rwanda leaving from the White House on his way over to that event there, and we'll be back after that. Okay, so this time around, it's been close for the agreement between the president of the states and the various leaders that you see, but we did see the video of the party to that event space at the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace. So the three world leaders will be there, and then as it starts, we'll take you live. We'll also show you the video of the other leader leaving the White House in just a second. In the meantime, let's go to a video that I played earlier. There was what was with Mike Lindell, of course. It was great to see him. A Throwback Thursday video that we played. We also played a video with the great Kari Lake when she was governor of Arizona. We wish she won that. Who knows how that election situation happened. There's a number of letters that were written to Kari Lake 2 years ago. And it's just the third day video. But because it's about people saying, Kari, help us. You know, it's something we have now for the future of our country to secure our election. So let's look at that video from Kari Lake.
For example, your team. Thank you for taking the fight. You represent all of us who are working to get our country back. God bless you. Kari never gave the fight for America. Here you go, hope fighting. Here's one, Kari, my home $20 donation for your continued fight against the evils at the Arizona and cartels. This is a $20 check. This came from Sun City West. I mean, guys, I could go through this whole thing. These letters move me to tears. They move me to tears on our elections. And the people are the ones who are helping us. If they want our case to go forward, they want us to fight this because they fight this now. It's our country. I've been offered bribes to get out of politics. We have such a huge movement. They're afraid of this movement being back on the ballot.
And that movement is us, all of us, on the right side of history. That movement, as you guys know, We the people, the liberty movement, the freedom movement, the MAGA movement, all the Tea Party movement, all of that, which basically is the common sense, good-hearted Americans that are out there. And there's many of us. And we know that the massive majority of our country are people on the right side of history, not woke, right? Woke ideology. You're free of thought. You're not a sheeple following, yes, the news told us this. Okay, I believe in that. Screw that. We're freakers. And we know, and we want the best thing that you can have in America is God, family, country, freedom through truth, justice, and the American way. That's what the other countries want in the sense of the people. I believe the people, like of China, right? They don't want to lord it over like that. They love freedom. Probably don't have no idea of what it's like. Maybe they do. But at the end of the day, we're fight for it. And you are the fight. See, I'm in a suit, not military fatigues. Against the, we're so happy having the United States military. But also in the innovation work, because if we lose that, that's when, just like in New York, right? Hey, have free stuff. And your mind and your mind, I'll take that. Thank you. I'm going to rely on you. Don't take the mind now. Don't control my thinking. Don't control it all, because at the end goal of socialism and communism is death and destruction. It really is. I don't care what the news is out there. I don't care. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. And I know you don't either. What you care about is just freedom and common sense policies and winning. You got to remember, I kept it in my heart, guys. Every time we're at those events in those arenas over the past few years, I've worked at Right Side since September 3rd, 2022. First rally in Scranton. And when I went there and I saw a packed arena, I heard the U.S. chant across the arena. It's not just an emotion, it's a thought of why are we here doing this? Because we love President Trump. Because President Trump stands for X, Y, and Z, right? All the good things that we want in our country. I'm not letting go of it. And that's why people like it interviewed earlier has more than 500,000 followers. One person, 500,000. She doesn't work at a network. She said, you know what? I got a skill. I'm going to go out there and use it. And she's using it for the country. And that's why I want to interview people like that too. It doesn't have to be just, here I am, watch me, watch you. You know what I mean? A part of the right side history. Great, awesome. Thank God. Grateful, trust me. All right, let's go to some video of the Democratic Republic of Congo leader leaving West Wing House. There, and we'll be back in a second. All right, so everybody to the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace. I believe the president is his way or over there. And as soon as you see the three leaders, we will take you there live. And that's something that RSBN, you know, you count on us for 10 years plus now to bring you live coverage in the moment. Pretty cool stuff. Speaking of that, a couple years ago, back Thursday for a second, those of you that just post airing the video that I did earlier. This was a video that I shot with my iPhone back in the day, 2022 in Robstown, Texas. Mike Lindell there as well. And I saw him greeting a number of people. And the reason why I like to air this video is because in one video, I didn't add any music underneath the video. It was just one whole 3-minute vantage point. And it just came, and this is the love for American people. This is what it's about. Family, country, family. Let's focus on the family part here as we look at this, the President of the United States.
Get us back right! Yeah! I just want you back!
Mike, what's it like to see this amount of love out here? Well, they're looking for hope, you know. I give the glory to the Lord. God bless me with a big platform, but it's everybody's platform. And it's just I have a bigger voice right now than everybody else. And it feels good to know that there's people that this inspires me to keep going. And everybody, more and more courage is contagious. And that's where we're at. Everybody, this isn't a time to save your courage for a rainy day because it's pouring outside.
But honestly, what is it like to see all these people shaking your hands, loving you for being an American patriot?
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. It's I just feel very blessed, you know. People are looking for hope, and we are going to get our elections back instead of selections. We're going to get rid of these voting machines. Everybody knows what I'm standing for. We have to get rid of the electronic voting machine, or we're going to lose it. How you doing? You guys, how you gonna see the stage back here?
God bless you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Last chance to say hello to the
And we sleep on your sheets.
All right.
Yes, we do.
A shout out to Robstown, Texas, back a couple years at that Trump rally, and just great to, look back at some of the different moments that we experienced here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. And again, I just want to show that kind of video. I mean, this is what it's all about, right? It's we the people. And you look back at the great Abraham Lincoln when he spoke in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. I was born maybe 45 minutes from Gettysburg. And last time I was in Gettysburg, I went and visited where he delivered his Gettysburg address. And there's a little plaque that says on the other side of this fence, about 20 yards away is where he stood. I'm the kind of person that doesn't want to stand right here at the plaque. I want to stand where Abraham Lincoln stood and spoke and said things like it's a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And I don't know. Maybe it's the way I'm wired. It's really heartfelt when it comes to all this stuff because that's just the way I am. But the point is, I don't know. I just love freedom, and I love that you guys are with us here watching live as it's 12:51 Thursday, December 4th. Well, the 12:10 was the scheduled time for the signing ceremony. So obviously, it's a little bit later than that. That's all right. We can talk on the fly here. We've learned to do that here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, especially at all those rallies that you guys have watched us over the years. Yes, there are a lot of stories going on out there too, and we've been looking at those. And we know that the Jan 6 pipe bomber, a suspected pipe bomber back in the day, has been arrested. I believe that there's a press conference coming up shortly about that. So any different live streams that you can check out are right here on Right Side. You can go to Rumble and anywhere else watching. Thanks so much for live streaming in. And speaking of, since I'm reminiscing a little bit when it comes to the 96, but 2, we'll just rally to you. I was thinking just in September this year, September 21st, something that I haven't spoken about in about a month maybe, but the Charlie Kirk Memorial that was in Glendale, Arizona. Speaking of things that we will bottle up and keep with us, that is it. That memorial, when the power of God moved, the Holy Spirit moved, for those of you that are Christian out there that believe, and if you're not Christian, this is not a thing that you should watch. I'm not talking about. It's a political show all about freedom. So it's just under that umbrella, but specifically when it comes to Christianity, the power of God moved in Arizona. And it was awesome. It was really awesome to see that. The praise, the worship, the words spoken. But at the end of the day, we're always looking for just truth to set us free. So that's what we're about. And this is called a teleprompter, rock and rolling with you. It reminds me President Trump would be at rallies, right? He'd say, "All these teleprompters, I don't need them," and all that. Yes, good. All right, so it looks like they're at this Delivering Peace event. I guess it's going to be between President Donald Trump and President of the Republic of Rwanda and President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, the DRC, because I remember maybe a year ago, I was traveling from south up to Iowa and Chicago, one of the rallies we were covering. during the campaign there. And I went to a number of immigrants that were flown in. Do you remember when during the Biden or the regime were flown in Chicago, they were housing some of the illegal immigrants? Walked by and I have a video for it. We don't have to. That's on my Truth Social. I read people, and one was from the DRC, the Congo, and they were saying, hey, like Biden because in, you think about all these different things that have happened over the past few years, and it's there's a lot going on. That's why I was saying, where's our anchor, right? Where's our anchor? There's so much talk. And I was on Truth Social. I love social as well. Been on since over 22. And now watching all of the words that are spoken on X, right? I follow a lot of truth, and I love truth. I'm looking at what did this person they found out outside of the investigative stuff here. The point is, still though, actions speak louder than words when it comes to what's needed to be for our country to be fully saved, right? Sometimes it's got the phone just a second, because sometimes you go catch. Yeah, so they can lull you to sleep, so you don't know what the heck's going on out there. So I'm not saying from that perspective. I'm just saying there's just a lot going on, as you guys know. And watching side, you're not, right? Don't think these are even if you're not out there on TV, posting out online, or because you're watching broadcast network, you're watching conservative media, care about our country. You want to see our country succeed. You're a part of the vote, hopefully, on if you're 18 and up. And also, your role, talk to your friends, talk to your family, vote for the midterms. And I'm seeing the midterms are in 2 months. The midterms are next November. We really have to win those things. I don't want things for me talking here. We don't want our country to look like Ireland and our country to look like England right now with the way they're acting when it comes to speech and that kind of thing. I don't ever have to look back at any of the video and say, this is about then and look what we have now. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying who knows. So we have to do what we have to do to keep the wins going. It's okay to be undefeated, right? We don't lose all. So, and we're approaching the hour. A lot more activity there at the Donald Trump Institute of Peace. We'll be going there live just a second. Go to a few sponsors in the meantime, as we have a great sponsor coming up right now. Very Gold is that one. Every major financial disaster begins with a few sales that people ignore. 2007, that overextended and missed faith that everything old, and obviously it didn't. The banks failed, savings vanished, retirement cut off. The lesson on today, so indicators are happening, defaults are rising, real estate strained, private credit against limits. For 25 years, Mr. Gold has guided us through economic storm with an A+ better business bureau rating and one constant confidence fades. So you can study the evidence. Every call, they see that number on screen 86779. Go to rsbfgold.com. You get more information there with free info. Get monetary gold. Get podcasting. Go to Spring. So they hire military. Also, long sponsor here with some great products. The flagship product right there, the Miracle Green. Also, use that RSBN promo code checkout. Discount as well. So if you're looking for a courtesy, there's one at pace.com. We're approaching 1 o'clock on the East Coast. Good old 10 a.m. out there on the West Coast. And those watching time zone and the time zone, every state in the I believe is watching. To be honest, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Go ahead on Rumble right now, on YouTube, or just the state you're watching from, if you'd like to. So go ahead and share that with us. You know, the people on coast to coast, because you guys are involved with the nation, and you're interested in what's going on out there. And what a better place to find it on the right side when we have coverage wall to wall, and today they're Washington, D.C. All right, so we're hearing from other here at the network that President Trump is on site. So the presidential seal is that video. So we'll be seeing the 3 world leaders here joining us. The president is participating in a signing ceremony with the president of the Republic of Rwanda and the president of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, this event is not at the Donald Trump Institute. I saw yesterday, or maybe on Truth Social, the exterior of it looks great. Looks great. So, great to see that. We're going there live here just now. 2 items a little bit later. I will be here on right side of the as we cover the in D.C. on the president and the first lady will be involved. We'll have that live coverage as well. We'll see if the president will have any questions after the event here. Usually, you guys know questions. So after that, so we'll have that if that's the case in this situation. Also, at 1 o'clock Eastern time, 10 o'clock there. To follow the broadcast network just on X. Just go to RSBN Network on Truth Social. It's at RSBN. Follow me on X at US Media, and then on Truth Social, Matthew Alvarez. Thanks again for following. Also, just interacting. I see a lot of that on Truth Social. And kind of a fan actually said, I love you guys the day on the Thanksgiving break to the people that are on social. Because it's true, right? It's our fellow countrymen and on the side of history that freedom to reign in this nation. So, yeah, we're family outside of history. So, if you'd like to follow, go ahead and do that. And one thing I'm curious, and this is, I don't know, it's off X, but there's 1.1 million people following Right Side Broadcasting Network on X, and there's, I think it's 2 or 3 million on Truth Social. Right? But 1 million puzzled because it's been at 1.1 million for quite some time. And I don't know what's going on there. I think there's more than 1 million people that have tried to follow. I'm just guessing. I don't know. But it's just that for several months. I don't know. Today, we see Elon Musk repost something of our coverage on there and a number of other people. It's great because more notably means more conservative, more cutting through the mainstream media crap out there. So other than the just suspected bomber arrest that happened today, stories that are out there, we do know that this week, tomorrow actually, the president will be attending an event for the FIFA World Cup draw. Just about this, I'm a sports fan, but I'm not too up to date with FIFA. But we know the president will be at the Kennedy Center tomorrow. And then, of course, anything happens next week, we'll be here for you. Rob will be on the early shift next week. I'll be on the afternoons, and looking forward to seeing you. So we'll be right back here on RSB Live.
Welcome to Right Side Broadcast Network, trusted conservatives at it. And RSBN will from the fall short. In 2015, we proudly broadcast every President Trump's iconic rallies, bringing excitement into life and else. By watching RSBN, you get an unheard front view of action on the ground. It helps to give a voice to millions of Americans just like you. We show you President Trump's speeches in their entirety, free from interruptions and censorship. We cover the stories that matter to you with the integrity and passion you deserve. Thank you for choosing RSBN as your home for America First News. Together, we stand strong, united, and informed. So join us and be part of the right side of history.
Every once in a while, something big happens, something that changes everything. And now, in a defining moment for crypto, Trump Media Group and Crypto.com are joining forces to acquire up to $6.4 billion of CRO, launching America's first ever CRO treasury, empowering the Kronos blockchain. This is more than a partnership. It's the future of finance built in America. For more, visit Crypto.com, where millions trade CRO every day.
Tired of being told no by your doctor, your pharmacy, or worse, your insurance company? You're not alone. Millions of Americans are waking up to a broken healthcare system. That's why more and more people are turning to All Family Pharmacy. We believe in medical freedom. We deliver the prescription and the medication, all from licensed U.S. doctors and pharmacists, from ivermectin and trusted antibiotics to maintenance medications, even NAD+, the revolutionary anti-aging supplement. Use code RSBN10 at checkout for 10% off your first order.
Hey y'all, it's Silk from Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Look, don't forget to watch my show right here at Right Side Broadcasting Network, and I want you to support Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's imperative that you do so, okay? Bye-bye.
Welcome back to Right Side Broadcasting Network. It is 1:05 Thursday, December 4th, awaiting the president, along with the two African leaders, one from Rwanda, one from the Democratic Republic of Congo. I've traveled to the continent of Africa. I was there on a mission trip in Chad, Africa, right next to Sudan back in 2004. It was a 2.5-week mission trip there, and wow. What I can say about it is you would think that, you know, other countries, or especially Chad, I mean, that's a very poor country, is really starving, and it's just so terrible. There were more smiles in Chad waving to us than I've seen smiles at the grocery store sometimes. You know what I mean? I guess it's because the tight-knit community and family there. But anyway, it was quite the experience. It was a Christian mission trip. It was just great to do, but also dangerous in some ways. Right next to Sudan, the Darfur region and all that. But when you know you're in college, you think do anything, but everything worked out. But it was a great trip there. But in the meantime, down to Nigeria, we know in Nigeria there's a lot going wrong when it comes to the government allowing factions of radicalized Islamists like Boko Haram and others that have persecuted and killed Christians in huge numbers there. We had Representative Riley Moore on the broadcast 2 times talking about shedding a light on that situation in Nigeria. So, you know, hopefully that will subside and stop. It's been terrible to see the things there. And there's a number of places that we can highlight around the world that aren't doing so. But the thing is, we live here, and we want to talk about keeping us safe. We want to talk about keeping our houses down. We want to talk about keeping law and order you know, at the forefront, especially in all the cities out there. And how about, you know, when it comes to the city that has broken the law, when there's receipts of people in 2020, you know, holding people accountable. And of course, something that we want is the secure elections, you know, coming up 2026 midterms. So there's just a lot of things in this country alone that we, the people, want to. So we know actions speak louder than words. A lot of words out there. We are saying, hey, well, great. but let's act on some of the things that are all good things for the nation, good things for the country. It's great to have a voice, right? You have a voice on social media or wherever you are in your workplace or friends with your family, that kind of thing. And then also, it's time to vote. We have to make it so, quote unquote, too big to rig once again. And